Welcome to Jakarta. As one of the most populous cities in the world, getting around Jakarta can be quite confusing. Notorious for its traffic, the huge metropolis is home to over 10 million people and divided into 5 different districts. So figuring out where you want to go may be a struggle even if you've never been here before. You're going to need lots of patience and a good sense of humor, because not everything is going to go your way.
Good morning, guys. Welcome back to Jakarta. So today I am going to attempt to learn how to use the public transportation system here in Jakarta. I've been staying here for an entire week now, and basically I've just been using the taxis here. So I feel like it's going to be a pretty difficult process because there's going to be possibly a language barrier, and I literally have no idea what I'm doing. So I'm going to try to visit North Jakarta, Central Jakarta, and then South Jakarta, using the 3 types of public transportations here. Last night I did some research, and it turns out the easiest way for me to do this is going to be to get a prepaid top-up card. So I learned that I can get these at Indomart or Alfamart. So that is where I'm heading right now, and hopefully I won't have any trouble getting one. So I'm walking just down the street from my apartment complex, and there's 3 malls here just in this one area. And it's actually a much nicer area because at least they have convenience stores here and little cafes and restaurants you can visit. At my place, there's literally no cafes. Now, in Jakarta, there's 3 types of public transportation you can use. The first of which is the TransJakarta buses. The second is the KRL, which is basically like the commuter trains. They run all around the city as well as down south of Jakarta. And the very last is the new MRT lines, which is basically like the metro system here in Jakarta. So it looks like I'm gonna have to walk into this gated off private apartment building to get to Indomart. Ay, makasih. Of course, all the instructions are in Bahasa, so I can't read it. I literally just spent 20 minutes trying to get this card here at Indomart and Alfamart. So let me explain. I went to Indomart because I read online that you can get this card at Indomart. The language barrier was pretty extreme. They couldn't speak English, so I had to use Google Translate. And Indomart said they didn't have the prepaid card. So I went to Alfamart. They had it, but they told me they couldn't top it up. And then I went back to Indomart, and Indomart was like, no, we can't top it up. So yeah, now I gotta figure out how to top up this card with money on it.
Now before we continue any further, I want to quickly explain the 5 different cards you can get to make traveling around Jakarta a lot easier. These 5 prepaid cards can be used at any of the MRT stations, and they're going to be your quickest way to use transportation in Jakarta, so you're not wasting any time at the ticketing machines.
So I was literally at this Apple Tower right behind me here for the last 10 minutes trying to figure out the ATMs, because the prepaid card is from BNI, which is inside. So my credit card wouldn't work, so I couldn't top it up with my card. You couldn't put cash into it. So the security guard told me that at this bus station there's a kiosk, so maybe I can top it up that way. This nice gentleman that's handling the tickets here helped me out to figure out how to top up my card here. So I'm going to show you guys, because it's actually quite difficult for a foreigner that doesn't speak Bahasa. Okay, so first you got to put your card on. You got to hold it down. So, and then you hit top up. Then once, twice again. Alright, and then you pick how much money you want to put on. So I'll put 100K on. And I guess cash, yeah. Oh, and then this one, yeah. And then it's gonna tell you put the money in. So you put the money in, and then it's gonna print your receipt. Pretty simple if you speak Bahasa. and I'm now back in Chinatown. So if you guys saw in the last video, that's where me and Anastasia went to explore this area. So I'm pretty familiar with it. And we got a bajai last time. So this time I'm actually going to try to attempt to get the same price without her negotiation skills, because I only speak English, so we'll see how this is going to go. I know the price is 20K what we paid last time, so it's going to be interesting to see if I can get that same price now. Berapa the old town?
Hah?
Old town.
Oh ini.
Iya, berapa?
Kota tua ya?
Iya, berapa?
Kota tua apa itu? Ya kota tua. Ya.
Berapa?
Udah biasa.
Hah?
30.
20.
Hah?
20. 3.
Oh, macet no, lihat no.
Nah, 20. Ya?
Ya udah naik.
Alright, I think I got it for 20, we'll see. Alright, so I am back in the old town where I was in last week's video. So let me give you guys my first impressions of riding the TransJakarta buses here. So riding on the TransJakarta bus is actually impressively nice and very efficient. Unfortunately, it's just so difficult for a foreigner to figure out how to use it first, so which is exactly why I'm making this video for you. Google Maps does an amazing job of telling you which bus stop to go on, which bus stop to get off on, so that you get right here to this exact spot. TransJakarta does have an app. It gives you the entire lines that go through the city, but you have to be able to know which district you're going to and which district you're starting at, which as a foreigner, I don't know the area that well. So it's really a lot easier for me to just type in Taman Anggrek on my Google Maps and put in my destination, Chinatown, and Google Maps just does an amazing job of just directing me which stop to get on and get off. Also, it tells you how much it is, so you can expect to know what the final price is going to be. Overall, the bus is really nice, really clean. They do announce which stop you're arriving at in Bahasa and in English, so great job, TransJakarta. As I mentioned in my last video, the area is pretty much closed off unless you're going into the restaurant in there. So really, if you wanted to, you could walk down this center street because there's really no cars. A lot of the streets here and the highways here in Jakarta, they actually have a barrier for regular transport like cars and bikes and the buses. So the buses have their separate lane. Now, of course, obviously, some locals don't always abide by that rule. But yeah, they have a bus lane specifically for buses, which is why sometimes it's much quicker in traffic. Getting to the Monas, I actually have to use TransJakarta again, have to use the buses, because the MRT in Jakarta is actually very new. So it only starts at central Jakarta and it goes all the way down to South Jakarta. There's no other line except for that one. So there's only 14 stops and they cost 1K for every stop basically you get on. The buses run so quickly and so efficiently. It only took me 10 minutes to get here. So I'm now in central Jakarta, right next to the Monas. It's right beside me. I'm not sure if I'm gonna go in yet. We'll see how much it costs because it's about to be rush hour. The sun's beginning to set, and I want to get on the MRT line because I want to get on it before literally it gets packed in there, and make my way down to South Jakarta. There's the Monas right there. I'm probably on the complete wrong side to go inside, but yeah, that's the car entrance, I'm assuming. I'm arriving at Bundaran High Station, which is the very first stop on the MRT line, and it goes all the way down south, so hopefully I can figure out how this thing works. Hopefully it's not very different compared to the TransJakarta line, and maybe I can just use my prepaid card for it. Okay, here we go. Hello. So fancy here. Hello. Okay, well that was a lot simpler than I thought it would be. So I only need this, which is nice. I don't need to go to the vending machine. Cool. This is really nice, really impressive. A lot of security, so yeah. Impressed with this MRT. I can't wait until they finish building this place and open it up to the entire areas of Jakarta. So I've arrived now at Istora Mandiri station, which is right next to the stadium. That MRT line is so clean, so nice. I mean, it's pretty much brand new. It was very impressive, and there's a security guard on the station, on the actual train. So I didn't want to film too much because there was people on board as well, but very impressive. You even have an Indomart here. Wow. So these are the vending machines if you don't have one of these cards. So you just get a machine, get a ticket in here. So single trip 15, multi-trip 25. Apparently under 90 centimeters you can ride free too. Cool. This entire station is just so clean. As I mentioned, on the train, wow, this thing's really slow. Once they finish building this around the entire city, it is gonna be so easy to get to where you need to go. It is so quick, so simple. Just make sure you guys have one of these because you literally just tap and you get in, and then depending on how far you go on the actual train is how much you get charged. So I believe from the start to this GBK station, it cost me 5K overall, which is really cheap. This southern part of Jakarta, wow, so clean. Hardly any traffic so far. Well, on the other side there's a lot of traffic, but it is so beautiful down here. You know, I think after staying here for an entire week, I wish that I would have stayed maybe in the central area of Jakarta, or maybe even the southern part. So the gate was open, just walked right in, nobody really stopped me. So it really reminds me of Central Park. Right behind me you have this huge park area and all these skyscrapers behind me as well. Stunning. And you've got a lot of people just walking, jogging in this area, doing some exercise. And you got taxis. So really, really nice. I like this area. So the sun's already beginning to set. I don't think I'm gonna have enough time to do the KRL, which is the commuter train. So that runs all the way down south of Jakarta to a city called Bogor, I believe is the name of it. And I think I'm gonna save that one for a little later because it's gonna be pretty much dark by the time I actually get on that train. Got lots of people working out over here. This is a perfect place to do a run. I literally wish West Jakarta had a running track and a park just like this, man. Alright, well, I made it down to GBK Stadium.
Got my prepaid card and got on the TransJakarta as well as the MRT line. I didn't get on the KRL, the commuter line, but I think I'm gonna do that next week. I'm gonna try to plan a trip to Bogor, I believe is the name is how you pronounce it. So it's gonna be an interesting experience. If you want to see the KRL line, how to go from Jakarta down south, make sure you guys are subscribed. Let me know if there's anything you guys would have done differently from what I did, because again, I am inexperienced in using the public transport here. So if for those of you that do live here, if there's anything that you guys do different that makes it a lot easier, comment down below, let me know, so that for the next 2 weeks I'll have a much easier experience here. But overall, I'm very impressed with the public transportation here in Jakarta. It's a lot easier than you may think. At first, there's a bit of a language barrier, especially if you're a foreigner and you don't speak Bahasa, but people are more than willing to help you. You just gotta ask. And well, you can't really ask if you don't speak Bahasa, but you kinda just gotta use your hand motions pretty much. So that's exactly what I did, and people are more than willing to help, obviously. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Hopefully the foreigners that are watching this video, hopefully that was helpful for you, because it was an interesting experience for me. Very stressful at one moment, but once you get this card and you top it up and you know how to do it, it's very easy. From what I read online though, you only can use this one per person. So if you're traveling with a friend or with your girlfriend or boyfriend, then you're gonna need 2 of these. But I did see somebody use this card for their friend as well, so I don't know. It says online you can't do it, but apparently you can. So I hope you guys found this video very helpful or entertaining, one or the other. And if you guys did, make sure you guys like the video, comment down below any questions you have, and please subscribe. It really helps the channel, and I'll see you guys next week. Peace.